Once again, you are heartily welcome back to the program. If you are just joining us, you are on to Press Brief, and on this program, we focus on the newspapers. Our point of entry is with the Post. The Post from Buea have as lead story: former STO magistrate takes to court for annulling land concession deal. That is what you can find on the Post of late Francis Wache for today. In that said paper, still at June session of Parliament, Honorable Kavaige Shipri urges government to address health care workers' concern. And we move on to a new Cameroon static release partner to double for far north power supply, and responsible tourism don't harm the environment, communities for local cultures. You can find details on page 5 on the Post for today. From the Post, we move on to Quotidien Emergence for this morning. It reports malaria. 3 million cases of malaria are recorded every year in Cameroon. Get to read details on that health palaver on Quotidien Emergence for today. The far north, the northern regions, the paper reports on 150 billion CFA francs financing the green project. Get to read details on that publication of Quotidien Emergence for today. Higher education, the paper reports on how the numbers of graduates from universities and university institutes have actually skyrocketed for the past years now. For the past 3 years, as it has recorded a 15.6% increase of the numbers of graduates leaving the higher institutions. Lake Chad Basin area, the paper reports on Boko Haram insurgency that have been put out by the multinational mixed task force of Cameroon, Chad, Nigeria, and other countries, Sahelian countries, for the fight against the Boko Haram insurgency. Quotidien Emergence of late Pius Njawe for this morning talks of the GICAM Air France Cameroon. The paper talks of indignation, patronal indignation. Get to read more on that publication for today. The transfer of funds to SEDEC, the paper reports on what is making the transfer of funds to SEDEC quite peculiar and not being realized. You can find details on Le Messager for today. La Meteo reports on the cocoa and coffee sector. Mbanga at Tanganang, Lukmaga Braga Tanganang doubles as Cameroon's Minister of Trade advocate for just remuneration to agricultural experts who specializes in the cultivating of cocoa and coffee sector during the World Conference that is happening there. You can find more on La Meteo for today. Lloyd Sahel of Gibe Baitama for this morning from the northern region says Marwa 5 deaths by drowning in a stream in Marwa within the period of time of 48 hours. Get rich details on that human interest story on Lloyd Sahel for this morning. And Cameroon Gavi says more than 27 billion CFA francs for the reduction of maternal mortality. Garwa, the paper reports on some 15 youths that have been removed from the unemployment market in Cameroon. And we move on to this other story. It talks of the new phase of the C2D development plan in the city of Douala. Luswa for this morning talks of the revolutionizing edition of emergency when it comes to partnership deals with University Institute for the development of higher education. You can find more on that paper as that meeting that was championed and chaired by the Minister of State, Minister of Higher Education, Jacques Famdongo. Adamawa region, the paper reports on small and medium-sized enterprises who have been schooled on how to normalize their businesses. Get to read details on that said publication for today. Quotidien Conjoncture Economy newspaper for today report on sport and management of urban towns in the country. It says the accord of 19.56 billion CFA francs that have been dedicated towards that drive. Get to read on how the MOU signing went with the Minister of Economy, Planning and Regional Development, Al-Lamin Usman May, and his counterpart of that multinational organization. The 4th edition of the Challenge Startup Pass, the paper report on the concept that has been conceived for the promotion of 100 startups in the African continent. Get to read details on that publication for today. And for Martin for this morning report on they just ended Finasco B Games. It talks of the apostasy's success, total success in the town of Bafoussam in the West region. You want to find details on how primary school children ended the Finasco B game on page 5 to 7 on that publication for this morning. Logical poll of Kakotamba for this morning have as lead story the Glencoe affair. The paper reports on the justice system, the British justice system on the grill of Cameroon. You get to read more on that Glencoe affair and the justice system of both Great Britain and Cameroon when it comes to the persecuting of those who were involved in the Glencoe oil affair. Cameroon saluted for her fight against malaria following the disbursement of the malaria vaccine to Cameroon. Le Private newspaper for this morning talks of water and energy sector. It says the infatigable Minister of Water and Resources and Energy, Gaston Elundu Usomba, cross-carpeting the nation when it comes to the stable supply of water and energy in Cameroon. Culture, the paper reports on artists, Cameroon musicians who have been sanctioned by the Committee Ethics and Discipline for Arbitration of the Cameroon Music Corporation, known in French as SONACAM. Get to read more on that organization that is headed by Seattle Civis journalist Ate Francis. You want to find more on the prep for today. From Le Preuve, we move on to the hot newspaper that is Eco Santé Quotidien. A report on this one on the Cameroonian society when it comes to biological clinic and edifying the public on innovation when it comes to certain health issues. You will get to read more on that paper of Quotidien Eco Santé for this morning. And medical prescription, it says the National Order of Pharmacies in Cameroon gives a deadline for medical prescription to be done with the adequate disposition put in place by the set doctor, address of the doctor, where he practices or where he or she practices, or the specialization and the health facility that he or she works with when it comes to the prescription of drugs. Get to read more on that publication for today. Media Action, all the way from Bafoussam, reports on the West region. The paper talks of this come together that was done by one of the sons of the West region when it comes to promoting living together in the town of Bafoussam. L'Expression for this morning report on the formidable massification of Madeleine Solange Ekike when it comes to the voters registration in Cameroon, something that she has taken personal as she has been educating Cameroonians on the need for them to make sure their names are get inscribed on the national elections registrar for 2025 general elections taking place in Cameroon. And we move on to the national payment system, known in French as CGPS. It says the Minister of Public Service and Administrative Reform, Joseph Lee, evaluates the project of the CGPS project when it comes to the evaluation, when it comes to the national payment system. This was during a meeting that he championed there at the Yaoundé Hilton Hotel of yesterday. You can find more on that set paper for today. The Minister of Finance, Louis Paul Motaze, talks of the second phase of the project for the financing of key projects in the nation. Get to read more on his take on that exclusive interview accorded him by that paper of Le Témoin for this morning. From Le Témoin, we move on to Le Jour of Haman Mana. It talks of the relegation of Kaji Sport Academy. It says Gilbert Kaji cries out for the conspiracy against the team. You get to read more on that set paper for today. Development City plan for the revamping or new facelift that will be given to the littoral region. And they just ended Finasco B games in Bafoussam. The paper reports on the classification table and those who went home smiling. Get to read more on that paper for today. The Parliamentary Affairs newspaper of Quotidien Eco du Parlement for today talks of the June session of Parliament. The President of the Republic tables 2 bills at the National Assembly. And as said paper, the paper gives a dissect on the various commissions of the National Assembly who are swinging into action following the tabling of new 2 bills to the National Assembly. And the Commission of Finance and Budget meets for the evaluation of the budget orientation debate for 2023-2024 at the hemicycles of the National Assembly. We'll move on to the next paper for today. La Voix de Jeune report on the military tribunal in Yaoundé. Bruno Bichang of Vision Cards will be freed in no distant time as he was arrested in conjunction with the kidnapping and killing of journalist Martinez Sogo. You can find more on La Voix de Jeune for today regarding the purported release or the purported soon release of Bruno Bichang of Vision Cards. Elections of President of Cameroon. Why I won't be a candidate. That is what you can find on the Samuel Etofis exclusive interview, according to Info Asho, as he says he's having no interest in the running of affairs of the country when it comes to 2025 general elections slated for next year. We move on to Blueprint. Blueprint for this morning says your comment on troops wrong, according to DH Cure, who tells Zamfara governor. And as said paper of Blueprint from Nigeria talks of emirship tussle. It says Federal High Court affirms jurisdiction to Oye Bayero suit. And Sporting Sun for this morning talks of the Nigerian Football Federation NFF to hire foreign technical advisor. We move on to this other sports story. Name and nickname Magician and Ronaldo Mbappe bring Germany to stand still when it comes to Euro 2024 kickoff. Lookman backs at Atlanta Pops Awards. And we move on to De Messi wanted to Madrid downfall. Daily Sun for this morning report of minimum wage fight will won't go below 250,000 naira, according to the Nigerian Labour Congress (NLC) and the Nigerian Trade Union (TUC). We move on to military arrest killers of 5 soldiers in Aba in southeastern Nigeria. Daily News Hub for this morning report on implement 2024 national 2014 national CONAF report integrate Igbo fully, according to Clark, who tells Tinubu. And minimum wage saga, federal government will only pay what she can afford, says Tinubu. We'll move on to mafia tried several times to sabotage 19 billion refinery of Dangote. First News for this morning talks of military arrest over 100 suspect links to killing of soldiers in Abia. And the Director General of the World Trade Organization, Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala, celebrates her 70th birthday in pomp in Geneva. Get to read more on her celebration of her 70th birthday of Dr. Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala, a global economist by par excellence. Get to read more on her. And court postponed Yaya Bello's arraignment in 880 billion naira fraud case to the June 27. The metrics for this morning, Dangote drops bombshell on this exclusive interview that he granted to one of the media outlets over there in Nigeria. And State of the Nation, Edwin Clark spits fire, and Supreme Court reserve judgment in local government autonomy case. And we take you to the Daily Times for this morning that says correct injustice against Ndigbo, release Nnamdi Kanu, according to Clark, who tells Tinubu. Happy birthday to an icon who turns 89, that is Uncle Sam, who becomes 89 today. And Supreme Court of Nigeria reserved judgment in federal government suit seeking autonomy for local government all across the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Troops destroyed several IPOB ENS CAM made several arrests, says the DHQ. Get to read details on that. For today, the Guardian from Lagos reports on risky black market boom as shown voluntary donation when it comes to war blood donor day. Get to read more on that set publication. For today, expensive away game, poverty, profit, performance hobbles demand for local league, and labor to demand for minimum wage arrears as governors and employers meet with Tinubu. And Clark says re-echo restructuring calls for after Democracy Day celebrations in Nigeria. The Nation for this day talks of World Bank okays $2.25 billion support package for the Tinubu's reform plan in Nigeria. 774 councils can't afford to pay 62,000 naira wage, says chairman. And Olekinji inspect ready for use of Olaban Palace. You can find more on that paper. For today, Daily Independent report on 30 died from 1,141 cases as disease spreads to 96 local government areas and 30 states all across Nigeria. Rodi session mass National Assembly props of 4.451 billion naira NLNG Project 7, and Aviation Ministry dilemma over naming substantive NCAA Director General. The Punch for this morning talks of Dangote Refinery plans 5.3 billion liters fuel storage, and Tinubu eyes fresh 500 million World Bank loan for railroad projects all across Nigeria. Vanguard for this morning talks of hardship. Labor kicks against 20 states deny workers wage awards and minimum wage package. We will pay what we can afford, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu tells Nigerians. And we move on to this other story. Sanusi, how I want to be remembered as Emir of Kano. Daily Trust for this morning report on Niger Governor Deputy Speaker travel for Hajj 2024 in the Holy Land of Mecca. Troops kill bandit leader Borare Yadi, others in Kaduna State, and Federal High Court assess jurisdictions to hear Kano Emir dispute. Wrap up this edition of the program with the last paper, the Nigerian Tribune. Nigerian Tribune for today says Labour would demand minimum wage arrears, and Nigerian Labour Congress NLC tells the federal government troops arrest suspected killers of 5 soldiers in Aba State of southeastern Nigeria. Police ban Dubai direct activities during El Far Kabir in Kano, and Supreme Court reserve judgment on federal government suit seeking autonomy for local government areas. With that publication of Nigerian Tribune, this is where we draw the curtains of the weekender edition put together for today of Friday, the 14th day of June 2024. Thanks immensely for the privilege of your company right from day one of this week and to the end of the week. As we here on Press Brief, we are wishing you all a blessed weekend. Goodbye.